Hey guys, in this video we are going to start from where we left off in the last video and continue building our dashboard. In this video we are going to add these two charts. The pie chart that shows the room's cost and the other chart that shows the comparison between the number of users and the number of rooms in the same month. And these are the last 5 months. So let's get started. Let's go to our main component in the dashboard. We already added here the column for the total users and another one for total rooms and the third column for the recently added users beside recently added rooms. Now let's add a new column. This column will be added automatically to the second row and we need it to fill 2 columns. Let's give it here elevation 3, padding 2, and let's specify the columns for the grid. It will be from the first line to the third. That means the first 2 columns. And let's create a new component for the pie chart. Let's call it pie rooms cost. We are going to use this package, reCharts. So let's install it first. And we are going to use this example. Let's go to the code sandbox. And let's copy the whole code and go back to our component and paste it here. Let's delete these imports, we don't need them. And let's rename the component to be pie rooms cost. And let's import it here in the main component. And let's save and check. And here's the chart. But there's no tooltip, let's add it. Let's go to the component and add tooltip. This tooltip is from reCharts package, it is not from Material UI package. So let's import it from reCharts. Let's add it here. And let's delete these static lines width and update width here and the height to be 200. And let's wrap it inside box component from Material UI because we need to add some styling to make it responsive for all screens. Display flex, align items to the center, and distribute the space evenly. Flex wrap, we will make it wrap, so the colors box will go down if there is no space. This is the flex box, contains the pie chart and the colors. And if we reduce the space, we can see that the colors go down. So let's save and check. Now it is in the center of the box. Now let's work to replace the data with our own data. Let's remove this. This is only for TypeScript. And this is the old data. Let's delete it. We need to add our dynamic data. Let's first bring our rooms from the global state using our hook useValue. And let's create a new state for the data. We are going to call it cost groups and set cost groups. The default value is an empty array. And let's use effect. This use effect will depend on the rooms. Now let's create our categories or our groups for the price. First group is free, initial value is 0, and the second group is less than 15. the initial value as well 0, and the category between 15 and 35, and the last one more than $35. Now we are going to loop through our rooms and check the price of the rooms one by one. We will receive a single room and we will check if the room price is 0. In this case we will retain, there is no need to check the other conditions, and we will increase the free group by 1. Otherwise we will check the price. If it is less than 15, we will increase the less than 15 group. But if the price doesn't match the first two conditions, we will add a new condition. If it is less or equals 35, in this case we will increase between 15 and 35. And if none of these conditions is correct, that means it is more than 35. After updating these variables, we will change the cost to groups state. We will create an array of objects, and every object contains name and value. The first one, name, will be free stay, and the quantity, this is the value, will be the value in the variable free. And let's copy it 3 times. One for less than $15. The quantity will be the value in the variable less than 15. And another one for between $15 and $35. And the quantity will be the value in the variable between 15 and 35. And the last one for more than $35. And this is the quantity. These are the names in the objects. These names here. Now let's replace the data in the PieChart. This will be cost groups. And the data key will be the quantity. This is the quantity. Let's replace it here. And here let's loop through our new data. It is cost groups array. And let's save and check. And here is our new PieChart with our new values. This is our data automatically added from our database. And every color represents one of these values or categories in percentage, and when we hover we can see the number of the rooms. Now we are going to add these colors here. Let's add a new container for them here. Let's use a stack from Material UI. And let's add gap between them horizontally and vertically too. We can use here gap or spacing, it is the same. And let's add here the title. Let's give it variant h6. And the text will be rooms cost. And let's add box to contain the colors. Let's give it some styling. Display flex. Gap 3. And flex wrap to be wrap for small screens. Now let's loop through the colors array. We will receive a single color, and we will use the index to extract the text from our array cost groups. Now let's return here another stack. Because it is loop, we need here key. Let's use the color. And let's align the items to the center. And let's use here spacing. It is the same as gap, but let's give it here 1. This is the spacing between the color and the text. Now let's add the color box. Let's give it the same width and the height, 20 pixels. And the background will be the color we received from the loop. This is the color. And we will add here the text. Let's give it variant body 2 to make it small. And let's give it opacity 0.7. And we will extract the text from our array goes to groups using the index I. This is the index. The text is stored inside the name property, and this is the text here in the name property of the object. And let's save and check. And here's our colors, but here the free stay is blue. I want it to be green. Let's go back and change it. Let's go to the colors array and let's cut this. This is the green, and place it in the first one, and let's save and check again. Now the green color for free stay, and it is responsive. The colors now down when there is no enough space. Let's go to the home page and add a new room. Let's add it, for example, in Sao Paulo. And let's place the location here. Let's go to the details. Let's make it more than $35. It was before only one room in that category. Now let's give it title and any description here. And let's go to the images and choose some photos. And let's submit. Our room has been added successfully. Let's go now back to the dashboard. And here's the percentage updated. There are now 2 rooms, more than $35. Now let's add this area chart and these last 5 months. We need to create a new component. Let's call it area rooms users. And let's go to reCharts website. And let's search for the area chart. We are going to use this stacked area chart. Let's go to the sandbox. And let's copy the whole code. Let's place it here. And delete these imports. And let's rename the component. And here we don't need this grid in our chart. Let's delete it. And delete it from here. Let's update the margin here. And delete these fixed values. And add here responsive container from reCharts package. Let's import it. And let's wrap the chart with this container. Now let's add our style. Let's add div here and wrap them with this div. We are going to make the width 100% and height 300, and let's give it minimum width 250, and let's save and import it in our main component. Let's copy this column and add it down, and let's replace the pie chart with our area chart, and let's save and check. Here is our chart. It's working correctly, and it's also responsive. Let's go back to the component. Oh, we are here in the PieChart, but let's delete this index. We don't need it here. I don't know why they added it. And let's check if there is unnecessary variables. And let's save it. And go to the area chart. We need to delete the yellow color. We just need two colors. This is the areas. Let's delete the last one. This is the yellow one. And this is the static data. Let's delete it. We need to add our dynamic data. First, let's create a variable for the number of months. The default is 5. You can change it to the number you want. And you can add it in a drop down if you want and let the user choose by himself. And let's create variable for the current date. And temp array. Give it default value and empty array. And let's add loop to create our months. Let's change the index to be I. We need it to be shorter. And let's replace this with the number of months. In this case, it is only 5. And let's create a new date. This date will be for the last 5 months. So we will pass it the year of our current date. And the month minus number of months minus the index I plus 1, because we need it to be from the old month to the current month. Otherwise, you can replace this only with the index I. If you want it to be from the current month to the old month. But in our case, as you can see here, it is from the old month March to the current month July. But if you want it the other way around, started from July, you can just add here I. And after extracting the date of every month, we are going to push them inside our AreaTemp data as an object. These objects will contain the date because we need this date to compare it with the date created for the users and for the rooms. And the name that will be shown on the chart. For example, July 2022. So we are going to use here moment package to format the date. We will extract the month as 3 letters and the year as 4 digits. Here how it will look. And the number of the users will get the initial state 0. And the number of rooms in this month as well 0. These are the initial values for every month. If you want, we can console log this array to see how it looks. But we've already deleted the static data. Let's delete it to avoid triggering an error. Let's replace it with our AreaTemp data. For now, there will be no information on the chart. We just need to see our array in the console. Let's go and open the console. And here is our array with 5 objects. The date of every month and the name of the month here started from March. The initial values or numbers of users and rooms for every month. And now we are going to update these numbers of users and rooms for every month by looping through our rooms and our users array and increase them one by one. Now let's delete this console, we don't need it anymore. And let's extract our rooms and users from our global state using our hook use value. And let's create state for the data and set data. And the initial state is an empty array. Let's add here use effect. And this use effect will depend on the users. If there is a change in the user's global state, we are going to reset the number of users for every month in the array. So we will loop through the months and set the number of the users to be 0. And start looping through our users. and compare the created date of the user to these last 5 months. So for every user, we are going to loop through the months and check the date of the month. And we are going to use moment for this comparison. We will pass it the date of the month and we will check if it is the same as the created date of the user. And the criteria is the month. That means it will compare the month and the year. If the months match, we are going to increase the number of users for this month by 1. And after updating the users for every month, we are going to update our array data. We will set that to be our temp array. And let's copy this use effect for the rooms. And let's replace the state of users by the state of rooms here as well. And here for the loop and for the items. And the field that we are going to increase. Now let's go and update the data in the chart. The data will be our state data. The data key is the name, it is the same. This is the name, it is the month and the year. But the value of the array is different. Here it is users and the other array is rooms. And let's save and check. And here is our area chart with our dynamic information or data. Here in March, users 1 and rooms 5. April, May, June and July. Let's try to change the number of the last months. Let's, for example, bring the last 7 months and let's save and check. As we can see, it is working. It shows the last 7 months. It adds January and February, but there is no rooms or users in these 2 months. But our functionality is working correctly. So here, if you want, you can let the user choose using drop down or something. Let's change it back to 5. Here in July, there is 1 user. Let's try to add a new user. Let's go to the home page. And let's log out from this account and register with a new account. Let's create one for Nyla Foster. Email nyla@gmail.com and let's give it password. Confirm it and send. Our account has been created. Let's update the profile. Let's add a new photo. Let's pick this one and update. And let's go to the dashboard. Until now, we haven't added the access rules, so any user can see the dashboard. And there's 2 users now. So our chart updated automatically from the data in our database. This is our collection or table in our MongoDB database. If you have old users without created at field, because we added it recently in our model, you can just delete them all and add new users and it will be automatically added, or you can update it manually from here. Let's refresh the users collection to see the last user we added. This is the user. We can see that the rule automatically added. It is basic rule, and the active, the default value is true, and created at as well. These fields, we added them in the last video to the user model. For example, if you don't have this created at, let's edit and delete it. If we deleted this and update, you can add it manually by editing again. Let's copy one of these dates and let's add a new field, created at, and let's paste the date here and change the type to be date and update. This will add a created at, and you can update the month as you want to check the chart how it will look. For example, we can update this date to be in March, and by this way you can test the behavior of the chart. And here in our recently added users, you can see that Naila is the last user, and we can see our recently added room as well. In our next video, we are going to work on this table, how to see the list of the users and how to update their rules or their status if they are active or suspended, and the table of the rooms, how to view, edit and delete these rooms. So see you guys in our upcoming video.